Good morning, everyone. We are in Coney Island, and it is a foggy Coney Island. I wanted to come down here on a foggy day. I've never done Coney Island on a foggy day with the camera on the channel. I've been down here many times without the camera or with my still camera. But today what I'm going to do is we're going to walk from Coney Island down to Sheepshead Bay, and I'll give you guys some looks at Coney Island in the fog. There goes the train station. That is how I got here. I jumped on my train and from 18th Avenue in Bensonhurst to here is only about a 9-minute train ride. It's really quick. It's only like 3 stops. So this is what we're going to do today. As you can see, it's very foggy out. I'm gonna take you guys quickly through the amusement park area. We're gonna get onto the boardwalk, and then we're gonna double back and cut through the streets to get over to Sheepshead Bay. That's how we're going to do this. So it's going to be a little bit of a walk. That would be the Q train up there on the top. Q train on the top. F train on the bottom. There you go, guys. Look at this. You can see that fog almost totally blanking out the Wonder Wheel. Very quiet down here this time of year. It is January 7th, and it is, you ready for this temperature? It is 50 degrees outside. It's a little bit of a heat wave going on in January here. That's why we got all this fog. You got warm temps, cold water, and you still have some snow on the ground. Wonder Wheel over here. You got the cyclone out there. I don't want to spend too much time on the boardwalk. I'll give you guys a taste of what it looks like. You can see right here, you can see how foggy it is right now. Now, we get onto that boardwalk, you're not going to see anything really. The parachute jump is totally obscured. You can't see it. It's out there somewhere. So you're not going to see it. When we get closer, we'll see it. That's probably where we're going to exit. We're going to go over to the parachute jump. And then we are going to get onto the streets. So the route's going to be, I want to get down to Mermaid Avenue. Go through the train station terminal where everybody's waiting for those buses. Go through the big, apartment building complex over there, and get onto Neptune Avenue, and then we'll take Neptune Avenue all the way down to Sheepshead Bay, because Neptune Avenue eventually turns into Emmons. And we'll end it over by Sheepshead Bay. See what the fog looks like down there, if it's still going on. The fog is supposed to stick with us. Right now it's forecast to stick with us till about midday. So you can see there is nobody out here. There's one person walking towards me over here. I'll give you guys a look at the Wonder Wheel from the boardwalk in the fog. Look at that. Is that crazy? That is what it looks like. I just said that the temperature is 50 degrees outside. Well, this sea breeze here, it makes it feel like it's 40 degrees. It is. Just all of a sudden gotten really cold. I can feel it in my hands. This is what everything looks like when it's all closed up. They have all these nice little paintings and murals on the gates. There goes Ruby's. You got the beach shop. You got the main entrance into Luna Park over here. Not the main entrance, but one of the entrances. You got Tom's. Like I said, there's a bit of a breeze coming into me. My guys might hear that on the microphone. Salt and Sizzle does not have any of those nice, pretty, well, nothing down here has any of those, like, pretty looking paintings and murals. Excuse me. Most of the people you see on this boardwalk are all native from the area, Brighton Beach, pretty much. In Coney Island, people taking their morning walks. And then you got me, who decided to get up early and just walk out the door. That's how I do it. I literally just walk out the door sometimes. I don't even plan. Spur of the moment, I just get up, go out, and whatever happens, happens. Thunderbolt. And here's a parachute jump. You can start to see it coming out of the fog here. If you guys enjoy these walks, please hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. I'm always walking around somewhere. And I want to thank everybody for the support. Comes in and does that, hits the like button, watches my walks. Some of you hit me with donations. Thank you. I definitely appreciate that. It helps keep the stream going, keeps the channel going. This costs money. It's a lot of work doing all this stuff. Look at that parachute jump, huh? I mean, it is really in some fog. Let's get a good look here, and then we're gonna exit. You can see this is pretty much what Coney Island looks like right now. If you're wondering what time it's early. It's I want to say 8-ish in the morning, 8:30-ish. All right, we're gonna get onto the streets now. Should I go a different way because of this? Yeah, he's moving really slow, this guy. You know what the hell? Let's walk over here. It's a remote controls. That's a remote control car right there. It's like that's like walking a really slow dog, huh? Or like an old dog. This right here is the back of the scoreboard here at Maimonides Park. This is where the single A Mets team plays. This is the outfield's wall. We've been here before. I've showed you guys. I always tell people you can catch home runs over here. We got two early dog walkers. I was saying you could catch some home runs out here if you stand out here. I've seen it happen. You just clear the wall here, bounce around, and people run around and grab them. So we're going to get onto Mermaid, and then we're going to walk. We're going to walk to my right. So we're going to go right. You guys will look at the artwork on this wall here. Oh, I definitely want to get across Surf Avenue. Quicken up my pace a bit here. So this right here is Surf Avenue. I'm sure a building will go up here eventually. Maybe they'll even tear down that building eventually at one point. I mean, I know it's being used, but the way they're tearing down buildings all over Brooklyn. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take Mermaid Avenue. We're gonna cut right through the train terminal. You get to see that gritty area. It gets a little very busy over there where all the buses are and stuff. And then we're gonna go through the apartment buildings. We're gonna get onto Neptune Avenue for the rest of the walk. There we go. That's the plans. I think we're on West 17th Street, by the way. This is the street. Either this street or the next street over. I always get them confused, but West 17th will get you onto Cropsey. It's West 16th. We're on West 16th. We're going to pass West 17th in a moment. So, if you remember, we did the Cropsey Avenue walk. That'll get you onto West 17th eventually. So this is Mermaid Avenue. This is where Mermaid Avenue ends, by the way. It terminates right here at Stillwell Avenue. I don't think I'm going to make this light. We'll see what happens. Oh, light just changed green on the traffic side. So we'll see if I can make it across. Oh, you got a crossing guard here, so she's going to let these cars go through the crosswalk. Oh, no. Never mind. So this is the bus terminal I was telling you about. There's a lot of buses come down here. This is right underneath the train station. Most tourists don't know about that side of the train station. Because they're always getting off on that, you know, the main one where everybody goes down the little rotunda and goes down through the shops. You have this big stack on my left here. So you had all these big apartment buildings here. Now normally I would walk through here, but the gates are closed at this time. At times they'll have the gates open and allow, you know, cross traffic to go through there. You know, even if you don't live in the area. But I just noticed the gates are closed down over there. So we'll just go straight. What I was going to do is we were going to cut through there, which you probably could in some other spot. I see gates closed. I don't like to mess around, you know. I'm sure I could probably walk through, you know, open a gate or something, right? But what I was gonna do is walk through there and then hit Neptune, but I guess we'll just grab it over here. You know, let's cut through here. This is a little shortcut here. We're cutting a corner, guys. That's what we're doing right now. We're literally cutting a corner. This will take a little bit of time off of our walk. Check these buildings out. Yeah, like those open air like hallways. That's what's behind those like weird looking squares that you see, those tiles. People walk in those areas, go upstairs and stuff like that. They got tons of parking over here for these buildings, but I'll tell you what, I guarantee you probably only covers about 25% of the population, these buildings. I've said this before when I do these walks, for those of you that might be watching from out of state, never been to a big city. I know how you guys just love big cities, right? But these buildings right here, like you see all these buildings, have a population bigger than some small, small. I was gonna say towns, but you'd be surprised, man. They run you close to more than some states. I think I'm exaggerating though, but it's a lot of people. It's definitely a lot of people, man. I can tell you, there's more people in these buildings than there are people on American Samoa. Now someone's gonna look that up and fact check me, so again, I might be exaggerating once again, but you guys catch my point. So this is a big Land Rover service center here, and of course showroom. So if you want to buy a Land Rover, this is where you're gonna go. Of course you gotta have money, right? This right here, believe it or not, is Sheepshead Bay Road right here. We're crossing over Sheepshead Bay Road. It's like a little section of Sheepshead Bay Road, like just like a little cutout here. It goes over that way. I'm gonna stop right here in the middle here at West 8th Street. Give you guys a look. This is a pretty big intersection. I gotta hope nobody's drinking and driving right now, because I'm on this like little island here. I believe that's the DMV over there, right guys? I haven't been to the DMV in Coney Island in a long time. It's been years since I've been to the DMV. You want to know something funny? I don't even have that special license. Like, my license doesn't have that, what is that? That little, you know, that star that you put on it or whatever, the one that lets you fly all over the place. I got just a regular license. That's because when I renewed my license the last time, it was like a whole year before they were even talking about that stuff. So I decided that I'll just wait until I have to renew my license the next time, and I'll get it all done then. I really don't need to fly on any plane, so I don't care. And I'm not traveling out of the country, so. Very popular old school McDonald's over here that's been renovated. But this is a popular place, especially in the summertime. You got the F train snaking along over here. These are all new. These were pretty much all of the buildings that were going up a few years ago when I walked through here. It's all finished now. There's like a shopping center coming up. I'll show you guys when we get there. I think it's like a net cost. They have like a net cost supermarket over here. Alright, my camera actually shut down as I was walking, I just noticed. So we missed about like a few minutes of walking here, but we walked by the net cost. My camera will tend to do that sometimes, but once it does it, that's the only time it did it. So that's it. We should be good now. This right here is West 5th Street. As you can see, we are walking by another bunch of big buildings. This part of Coney Island is just nothing but buildings. You got a lot of people living in these buildings. You got Trump Village over here in this area, so you got a lot of just a lot of buildings. All right, so we're going to be getting into some smaller real estate soon. We have to get through this last section of big buildings, and then we'll be getting to the more of like a smaller residential area soon. So this coming up is Ocean Parkway. That looks like we're gonna make it across Ocean Parkway. Alright, so now from this point forward, we're going to be walking in these more of a close quarters kind of neighborhood. You see the bigger buildings are now gone. And we are on Coney Island heading over to Sheepshead Bay. More specifically, right now we are in the Brighton Beach section now of Coney Island. So Brighton Beach, Coney Island, you know, Manhattan Beach is all really the same geographical landmass, but you know, they have it broken down into sections. So this would be the Brighton Beach section. We're crossing Brighton 1 right now. This is Brighton 1 right here. There's an old house right here on the corner. I was wondering whether I was going to pass that woman with the baby carriage or she was gonna turn off somewhere, and well, I just got my answer. So all right, we're gonna walk on this side because this side has more of, you know, the businesses on the side. So we'll walk on this side, see what's going on this side. Got some stores and stuff down here. B&B Mini Market. Probably a popular corner deli in these parts. As you can see, a lot of people taking their kids to school or daycare. Daycare or school, choose one or the other, right? That's what we're seeing right now. See, it's that time of the morning, everyone's taking the kids out. Looks like the B4 bus is picking up some people. This right here is Brighton 6. It is still foggy out. It looks like the fog is starting to thin out here, so. So I don't know if when we get down to Sheepshead Bay if it's gonna have that same foggy feel that we started out with on the Coney Island Boardwalk. We'll see. I could see over my right shoulder the sun. It looks like the clouds are starting to break on my right shoulder, over my right shoulder. So. It looks like we are going to be wrapping up the Brighton Beach part of this walk soon. I can see the train trestle a few blocks in front of us. That's where we cross into Sheepshead Bay. And this right here is Coney Island Avenue. Crossing some major intersections here in Coney Island. I wonder if I could get by without the light. Let's see, we got 3 cars this way. I could definitely do it. There's nothing on behind me yet. I'm watching my shoulder. Alright, we're good. So while the camera's pointed in one way, my head is pointed the other way. It's my favorite kind of vehicle. Forklifts that almost every time run me over. Just plugged in my battery pack. Well, this is what I did. I plugged in the battery pack, right? But I still got to plug in the camera, and there it goes. There we go. It is time for a new camera because this camera's battery. We've been using this camera. I mean, this camera is a champ. This camera, I've been using this camera since before we even started the channel. Maybe about a couple of months before the channel officially was born. The channel will be 3 years old on April 2nd. So we still got a few months before we hit the 3-year mark. But I had bought this camera just a couple of months before to test it out and see what the best settings were and the best quality and all that stuff. And same thing for the battery pack. The battery pack I'm using is also, it was all bought as part of one little kit that I picked up. So the camera is fine. There's nothing wrong with the camera. It's the battery cells. You know, these manufacturers, you know, they put in battery cells that, you know, eventually die out and force you to buy a new camera. You could buy an external battery, right, that connects, but I already have one of those, so. And we are in Sheepshead Bay, by the way. Here goes Laundry King. King of the laundry. You got the car wash over here, right next to this club. It's like a nightclub, I guess. And here we are, we're at the marina. If you look up here, you can start to see the skies are starting to break right as we get to the marina. Well, here we are, guys. Now, what we're gonna do this time around, I know you guys probably want to see all the shops and all that stuff. You could go back in my channel. I've had a couple of nice Sheepshead Bay walks. But for today's Sheepshead Bay walk, we're gonna stay on the marina. We're gonna just come over here. I'm gonna give you guys a look at the marina, and then we're gonna end it. By the way, this is now Emmons Avenue. We are no longer on Neptune. It turns into Emmons at this point. And what I'm doing is I'm waiting for these very confusing lights to turn red so I can walk across. It looks like the first one that turned red was the left arrow. Now I'm waiting for the straightaway red to turn so I can get across. And soon, there goes, it's gonna turn red. And there we go. Wow, that was a long light. That was a long light, guys. All right, let's wrap this walk up. Let's walk the marina now. let's look at all of the wildlife here in the morning. We got tons of seagulls and pigeons that get fed, so that's why they're all hanging out over here. And we also have swans. I'll show you guys the swans. There's a lot of swans over here. Whoa. I wonder, somebody must have just fed them. Here, let me get over here so you guys can see the swans. Somebody must have just fed the area, because they're all coming over here to eat. So they're actually, you know what they're doing? They're coming to me because they're so used to people feeding them that they think that I'm going to start throwing food down. Yeah, it looks like somebody threw out a whole bunch of food over here. It's amazing to see that the seagulls are getting along with the pigeons. These guys are, they're looking at me like, is he a predator? Is he gonna eat me? They're kind of fidgety on the rail there as I'm walking by them. Well, it looks like the fog has cleared up a lot sooner than it was forecast to clear up. They said around noon. It's more like 9 o'clock. You can see that the sun is starting to come out. It'll be interesting to see what the temperature is going to be later, because, you know, it's already 50 degrees. So, you know, the sun comes out, it's going to get a little warmer. So, as somebody had said in the comment section in one of my earlier videos, they said the heat wave is coming. Yeah. For January, 50s is definitely a heat wave. I'm going to take you guys across the bridge. And that's where I'm going to end it, over there. I'm going to end it over on where the bridge is. So we got more swans coming over. Let's say hello. There we go. They're gonna come right up to me, because again, they're so used to being fed that they see people and they're like, oh, he's gonna drop food. But see, he's coming right up to me. He's like waiting, but not gonna happen. Sorry, dude. I don't bring bread or food with me, believe it or not, and I'm not in any way, you know, telling people what to do, but from what I've heard, you know, feeding these things bread is actually not good for them. Yeah, you got like a line, you got like a whole line over here, a little convoy. Yeah, a little swan convoy over here. Yes. And of course, they're waiting for me. No, sorry. Yeah, squawked at me like, you got food? Alright, so we're going to take the, what they call the Ocean Avenue footbridge, which, by the way, last time I was down here, it's been a while since I was down here, they actually renovated the whole footbridge. It's got all new wood lining the walkway. You'll see in a second. Looks really nice. They did a really good job. It doesn't sound wobbly anymore. It sounds very solid. I tell you, when you would walk on this thing, I mean, you felt like you had your life in your hands. You know, like at any moment you were gonna go through the board and end up in the water. Now, if you fell off of the bridge from this height, you wouldn't die. I mean, obviously, it's so very low fall, but if you can't swim, or if you knock yourself out on the way down, you could drown. So this is it. We're going to walk across, and I'm going to end it on the other side. I want to thank everybody for tagging along. This is, there's the sign right there, Ocean Avenue Bridge. And you could hear me walking. I mean, it sounds very solid. You know, just like a couple of years ago, you walk on this, and you would, every piece of wood you would walk on, you would hear it wobble. It sounded like you know, like loose floorboards. Give you guys a look in this direction. You can see the moon out there. If you look up kind of center right, you'll see the moon is up there. It's a morning moon. We just had a full moon a couple of days ago. So this is looking out towards the ocean. See, there's still some fog out over the ocean, but a lot of the fog has kind of gone away here on the land. Alright guys, this is it. I'm going to wrap it up here. On the other side of this bridge, I want to thank everybody for coming along. Hope you guys enjoyed this walk. We started out on the Coney Island side. We went through Brighton Beach. We ended up here. We took some streets in between, and now we are ending it right down here. We'll end it with some, we'll give you guys some art. We'll end it with some little doggy art, okay? And I'm going to call it. Here we go. And by the way, this side is the Manhattan Beach side. So, pretty much touched 4 neighborhoods, right? We got this little doggy art here. I wonder if this is somebody's local dogs in the area. Alright guys, thanks for tagging along, and I will catch you all on the next walk. Bye bye.